So you need to find a driver for an older parent or a loved one. And let's be honest, it can be super stressful. I mean, how do you really know who to trust? Well, today, we're going to break it all down into a clear, step-by-step guide that's designed to take you from that feeling of worry to complete peace of mind.
This is about so much more than just transportation. For your loved one, giving up the keys can feel like a huge loss of independence, and that's a really big deal. And for you, you're the one carrying all that responsibility and trusting their safety to, well, a stranger. It's a huge emotional moment for everyone.
All right, so to make this way less overwhelming, we've got a 6-step roadmap for you. We'll kick things off by talking about the emotional stakes. Then we'll dive right into the practical stuff, the background checks, the test drive, all of it. And we'll finish up by showing you how to set clear boundaries so you can finally get that peace of mind this whole process is about.
Okay, let's dive into our first section, a difficult transition. Let's just take a moment and acknowledge why this feels like such a big deal, because it absolutely is. This is about so much more than just a ride from A to B.
You really have to see this from two sides, right? On one hand, your loved one is grappling with what feels like a loss of freedom and maybe even a fear of being isolated. But you, on the other hand, you're carrying the weight of their safety and the stress of finding someone you can truly trust. Recognizing both sides of this emotional coin is, honestly, the most important first step. And this is why it's all worth it. This is the whole point. The right driver does way more than just drive. They are a lifeline. They make sure your loved one can get to appointments, see their friends, and just stay engaged with the world, which is absolutely crucial for their mental and physical health.
All right, section 2, verifying their history. Okay, we've talked about the feelings, now let's get down to the facts. This is where we build that foundation of trust, and it all starts with doing your homework.
So this really breaks down into two simple parts. First off, you just ask them. Have a direct conversation about their driving record, and, maybe even more importantly, ask about their experience driving for older adults. Then, part 2, you verify what they told you. The official DMV report? That's your non-negotiable. It's where you make sure the story they told you matches the official record.
Think of the DMV report as getting the complete picture, the whole story. Is their license even valid? Are there any sneaky restrictions? And of course, the big stuff. Does it show a pattern of violations, accidents, or, and this is a big one, DUIs? This single document is your best line of defense.
Okay, section 3, assessing their judgment. Look, a clean record is awesome. It's essential. But it's only half the story, right? Real safety boils down to how someone makes decisions under pressure. And the best way to figure that out? Ask them some what would you do if questions.
So let's try this one on for size. It's a pretty common scenario. Their answer here is going to tell you so much. What you're listening for here is patience, empathy. Do they sound like they have good problem-solving skills, or do they just get frustrated? You want someone who can handle a little resistance with compassion, not with force.
Okay, here's another one. This one really tests how they think on their feet in a potential emergency. Do they have a plan? Do they talk about getting help or making sure the person is safe and stable before trying to move them? This tells you if they can think clearly and act responsibly when things get tricky.
And what about things they can't control, like the weather? Can they handle the pressure that comes from the road itself? You want to hear confidence, but also caution. Do they know to slow down, leave more space, or even have the good judgment to say, you know what, it's just not safe to go out today? That tells you everything about their core judgment.
Section 4, and this is the big one, the in-person audition. They've passed the paper test, they've passed the interview. Now it's time for the real deal, the test drive. This is where you see their skills in action, and just as important, where you do a crucial gut check.
But hold on, before you even buckle up, there are some really important logistics to sort out. If they're using their own car, you need to verify their insurance and give the car a once-over for safety and cleanliness. And if they're driving your loved one's car, you have to call the insurance company first. Seriously, do not skip this step. Now, while you're on this test drive, I want you to tune into your gut. How do you feel in that passenger seat? Are you pretty relaxed, or are you all tensed up, maybe even stomping on an imaginary brake pedal? Trust me, that gut feeling is one of the best safety indicators you have. And while you're doing that gut check, keep your eyes peeled for these major red flags. Things like speeding, slamming on the brakes, or tailgating, those are obvious. And any phone use while driving. That's it. Game over. Immediate no. And hey, take a peek at their own car. A bunch of dings and scrapes might tell you a story. Okay, so you've found your person. They're safe, they're skilled, you trust them. That is awesome, but you're not quite done yet. The last crucial step before they officially start is setting some crystal clear ground rules. This prevents so much confusion down the road. And you've got to be super specific with these rules, especially if your loved one has dementia. For instance, is driving after dark off limits? Can they have other people in the car? Are they allowed to run their own errands on the clock? Think about it now so you don't have to deal with headaches later.
And here's the key. Don't just have a conversation about this. Put it in writing. A simple employment contract makes sure everyone is on the exact same page. It protects you, it protects the driver, and most of all, it protects your loved one, because there's zero room for confusion.
And that brings us to our final section, the reward. All that careful, diligent work you just did, the background checks, the tough questions, the test drive, it was all for this. This is the payoff.
Because really, you haven't just hired a driver, you've hired someone who can keep your loved one's world from shrinking. This person becomes a key connection to their social life, to their medical appointments, and to the simple joy of just getting out of the house.
And that's the beautiful thing about this. When you get it right, you're not just giving your loved one the gift of mobility. You're giving yourself the equally important gift of time and a whole lot less worry. And that is priceless.
So, as we finish up here, I want to leave you with one final thought. After everything we've talked about, what's the one rule, the one boundary that you absolutely will not compromise on? Knowing your firmest boundary is really the key to hiring with true confidence.